what's up? It's Sean Baligian.
What up? This is Joint Bell here on the Baligian and Bell Show.
Make sure you check us out on the Woodward Sports Network.
Yo, what's going on? This is the Woodward Sports Network. Woodward, I was tongue-tied right there. This is the Woodward Sports Network, and this is the Baligian and Bell Show. But yeah, I took Sean's seat again. You know what happened? Opening day was just so taxing on him that he just couldn't wake up this morning. So you know what happened? I just said, you know what? I would do what he could not do. I will go ahead and come in and help out and commandeer and hold down the fort. And we got Kennedy with us.
Hi, everyone.
Broadwell K. We got Scott Bischoff in the building. It's about to be a fun show, I feel. Hopefully don't go off the rails too early. How was your guys' opening day?
Go ahead.
Oh.
Yeah.
I had so much fun at opening day. I've never been to opening day before, so it was new for me.
Really?
I walked in and Sean handed me a shot of 8 Mile vodka, so it was such a beautiful 10 a.m. experience for me.
There's never a great time to enjoy there's never not a good time to enjoy the fun of alcohol.
Yeah.
So
exactly. Yeah. And then I got a Bloody Mary, and so I was feeling a little warm. I enjoyed myself.
What about you, Scott?
You were doing some yapping on the show yesterday. Do you remember?
Oh, I was blacked out.
Oh, you got blacked out?
No, I had one drink.
No, opening day is always fun. It's there's the whole nostalgia for us older people kind of thing, but it was really cool the way that game played out.
Oh yeah, I mean, especially with Miggy hitting a home run and freaking Snowmageddon.
Yeah, I mean, for
awesome.
every golfer out there, this is how it felt. Not to be negative or anything, but it's like, okay, it's the first drive of the year and you hit the fairway, you crushed one. You hit the fairway, but in the back of your head, you just know that it's not. We can't keep doing this.
Yeah,
it's not. The next one's going to be out of bounds a long way, and it's just inevitable that the wheels are coming off the bus. But they kept it. They won. Things got tight in the 9th inning, and a win's a win. It was fun and all that stuff. The snow, I think, made it cool.
Those pictures turned out awesome.
Yeah, I mean, the pictures, the video that the Detroit Tigers media team captured, some phenomenal work. Mm-hmm. It was also interesting yesterday for me being on the street, being able to experience all 4 seasons within 2 hours. That was just like really weird. The sun comes out, gets a little bit warmer, then it's freaking snowing, then it's just it was windy. It was just windy. It was a little bit of everything yesterday. But if you guys did not see it, Tigers opened up their season with the win, beating the Cleveland Indians 3-2. AJ Hinch starts off his reign with the win, which is
we'll take it.
What better way to get it? Go ahead and what better way to start off your coaching career in Detroit? Well, not your coaching career, period, but in Detroit with the win on opening
you get
day.
It from a Cabrera home run. It's just it's cool. It's super cool the way it works.
Everything played in together, the perfect marriage.
Yeah.
What you got, Art?
I feel like this image right here perfectly describes opening day yesterday.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy to think that that was the first home run of the season in the snow. Like it was a magical moment. I was glad to be a part of it.
And you know what? It's a long time to get here with everything that's happening in our world. Mm-hmm. And to still have it's baseball, so it's
right.
Let's not. I don't need to lose my mind over it, but the fact that it's played in the snow, and that it looks the way it looks, and all that, and it's still a baseball game that was played in a win. It's just awesome. It's cool.
Hey Art, can you throw that picture back up one more time of Miggy? I have to go photographer nerd for a second because I am a photographer before I've done any of this for 10 years, and I've been doing photography for games. As a photographer, you live for a shot like that. You don't a baseball game in April and you're gonna have that kind of photo.
Yeah.
You live for a photo
That's
like that.
a one-of-one shot.
You don't get too many of those shots.
No.
That's a one of one.
The
So that's
snow
gonna be
perfectly falling, like him point. I mean, it's a perfect shot. Yeah.
and hopefully that shot sets the tone for the Tigers season. So did you guys have a favorite thing about yesterday? I mean, COVID made opening day so different. Only 8,000 fans were allowed inside of Comerica Park. Downtown compared to most opening days. You said this was your first opening day.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not opening day.
That is
Yeah,
not at
I know.
all
I
opening
realize that's not what it would normally be like, but the spirit of Detroit was just still so present in the people that were there.
Mm-hmm.
Like the fact that we met, what was his name? Oh my gosh, that amazing guy that came up during the show and was dancing on Morning Wood. And
Oh, it was Chris the dancer.
Chris,
Yeah.
yes, big Chris. Absolutely amazing that people can show out like that and be that intoxicated by 10 a.m.?
Yeah, I would say probably
I
before
didn't see
10
him
a.m.
at 10, but I saw him. Is it the same person we saw
Yeah,
at
he
noon?
rallied. He was killing it all day long.
What about you, Scott? What was your favorite moment from yesterday?
I think the Cabrera home run
Cabrera
was
home
like kind of. I mean, we talked about it on the show yesterday. It's just the nostalgia of it all, and needing and wanting to see Miggy do some of the things that we hope he can do this year, and to start the season, to start the first inning that way. It was just it was cool.
For
Really
me,
cool.
my favorite moment of yesterday was actually when I went around in my car. I came back, took some more beads, and I just went around to different bars, establishments, and they were all dead. I mean, one of my friends' bar, it was jumping a little bit, but when it came to the opening day party, Woodward Sports had the best one in town, and that's not me, being a homer or being biased. It is facts. All you had to do was just drive by. You saw the party. There was a party outside of the party. Mm-hmm. So, did you say something, Art?
Yeah, I gotta say this was my favorite moment. Just the shenanigans throughout the whole entire day. It really, I was telling you guys before the show today, I was like, we could talk about stats and the Tigers ran this many. No, this is what it's about. Getting out in front of the people, having fun, talking to people. Obviously, wearing masks while you're doing it, but seeing Joey ride on the back of a scooter, someone's scooter, it was a really great time, and I can't wait for more of these memories because we're so used to this closeted life, just staying inside of our house, and it was a beautiful thing. So yeah.
And on top of that, outside of us just having Woodward Sports having the party at the Brass Rail Pizza Bar, the whole crew were the only ones, as far as any type of media, in the streets. We were the only ones out there, and I think that with this being such a unique opening day, we gave some of those fans that we bumped into something to remember them by. Not just the beads, but just the interaction of knowing, hey, we are Woodward Sports. We all had our gear on, whether it was the Tigers edition one or me. I ain't gonna front, I got a little bit too cold, so I threw on, and I didn't wear a jacket like an idiot, so I had to throw on my Woodward Sports hoodie. But we all had Woodward Sports across our chest, and it was just a great moment to be able to mingle with the fans. And just like it was your first opening day, also it was Fish's first opening day. Fish, what did you take away from opening day from your first one?
It was exciting. It was kind of what I expected, and everyone was just, I love seeing people very close to each other.
Was it terrifying on some level?
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit.
So,
But
it's
I was
crazy.
prepared for it.
Were you?
Imagine next year.
Yeah. Oh.
Standing room only.
Let's hope.
Fish, will you be okay with it being standing room only next year? Because that's going to be the real opening day when you can't be able to get a drink so fast or your food so fast you might have to wait about an hour. Or
it's a mosh pit.
Or when you're out in the streets, it's really in the streets. It's elbow to elbow. Are you going to be cool?
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
Hey.
I just don't want anybody people, hey, Fish dressing weird, hey, do this. Off limits, but I'm okay with the nudging and the shoving and the jumping and the occasional bop in the head.
Fish is going to be 21 next opening day.
Fish, are you going to have a... Okay, I'm not encouraging you to get drunk, Fish, but will you have Will you have a 21-year-old beverage?
Not at this moment in time, no.
Okay.
What about a year from now?
Yeah, when you're 21.
Yeah, when you're 21.
It very well could change, but at this moment in time, the answer is no.
That's a
I
great
see what
answer.
you did, Scott.
I feel like he's been counseled by somebody to answer that way because that was
Right.
like perfect.
I think dare was probably the most important thing he learned in school. Like, dare. He's following, and that's
well done.
Don't feel peer pressured, Fish, into anything. You live your life, buddy.
I'll try to.
Okay.
People like Stick and Joe need to learn that.
Shots fired.
Wait, no. Let's go into this further. Fish, have either Stick or Joey pressured you into drinking alcohol?
Not as of yet.
Okay, well, you mentioned them. You're supposed to snitch on them now.
Well, I mean, they have. Well, Adams mentioned Tinder. There's
Yeah,
one.
they pressure him into girls.
Yeah, they've mentioned that. Oh, we're gonna take you to a strip club, and then there was a whole talk about, oh, what strip club? And Art, let's go to Flint. Let's go to Holly. Let's go to Detroit. Wherever.
I did want to take him to a Flint strip club. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh no.
Well, Art wants to have a Woodward Sports Flint night?
Yeah, Woodward Sports Flint night. Yeah.
Machine shop?
Yeah, we'll go to the machine shop. We'll go to Big John's Steak and Onions. We'll go to a couple strip clubs.
I keep hearing about Big John's. Everybody keeps telling me. I've been up to Flint several times, and nobody will take me to Big John's.
You guys have like a Flint ambassador in the building, and you never use me. That's upsetting.
I'm sorry, Art.
No, it's okay. Words hurt. I'll get over it.
All right. So yesterday, you know what? One thing that threw me off about yesterday, and first off, I loved that we did a live show. I had a blast being around the people. The surroundings, it didn't bother me, not at all. What bothered me was those damn laptop lights. Like they were just shooting
The
right
ring
in
lights.
my eyes. Like these lights right here that we have in the studio. Okay, those are one thing. I know that we got to get lit up. That light was shining right in my eyes, and then I'd be like, all right, let me take my glasses off. I took my glasses off. I looked like I was high, so I'm just like, you know what? I just quit.
I mean, it's opening day.
Speaking of that, what happened with Maz?
I know. I gotta tell you, I'm disappointed about that because I was ready, willing, and able to provide him with what he needed to have.
Ready, willing, and able.
Yeah, to have.
Sounds like he was not.
Sounds like you had the dispensary on you.
Basically, it chickened out. I don't.
He had a lot of pressure on. He had to run audio.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Which, that was a lot of pressure considering there were a few things that happened. I'm not going to, unless you want me to. But
I'm
just
glad
a few
you
things that
Fish is
happened.
calling people out
What-
today.
You know what? Fish.
Tell it, Fish.
No, wait, hold on. I want Fish to gather his thoughts and tell this story because we got to hear this. We're going to come right back in one moment and let Fish get on his rant.
Hi, I'm David Hall from Hall Financial. And at Hall Financial, we treat our clients like family. And our number one priority is giving each of our clients five-star
Which, that was a
service.
lot of pressure
Our passion
considering
for
there were a
five-star
few things
service,
that happened
combined with
during
our
this
expertise, allows us to find the best possible solution for refinancing your home loan. We take the time to focus on both the individual and the numbers. We're going to walk you through the process and close your loan in half the time of our competition. Go to davidhallmortgage.com today.
Thank you, Fish, for turning on my mic. I appreciate you. How dare you? 8 Mile Vodka, born in Detroit, is distilled in single 90-liter batches to allow for optimal quality control and care. Then carbon filtered, aerated, and bottled at the perfect time to produce a subtle taste with smooth finish and a character all of its own. This is an exceptional premium vodka that can be chilled and enjoyed straight or mixed to create an exceptional cocktail. Next time you're out, ask your bartender for some 8 Mile Vodka or pick up a bottle at Meijer, and always drink responsibly.
Hey, what's going on, you guys? You guys are watching the Woodward Sports Network, and this is the Baligian and Bell Show here with Broadwell, Kay Kennedy, and Scott Bischoff, and we got Art on producer camp, and we got to go back to the man
In the fishbowl.
In the fishbowl, Fish. You was going on a little bit of a rant right there. Care to tell us what you were talking about with Maz and the peer pressure and everything?
Well, there wasn't any peer pressure. There was only a few moments during the hook that I saw of Maz messing up on the audio.
Oh.
Yeah.
How'd he mess up?
Didn't turn the mics off at the start. Pilar dropped an F-bomb.
Was he
So
high?
if you want it,
That's what we heard.
so if you want
Yeah,
it, if
that's
you
what
want
we
it,
heard.
Okay, hang on, time out, Fish. So we were
replay it?
walking, handing around beads. It was me, Kennedy, Kory was with us too, and we were handing out beads. And I noticed that I heard like an F-bomb being dropped right before the show went on. You guys heard it too, so it was an actual thing that happened.
Oh.
Yeah.
Damn. Okay, that's what that was.
The mics were on during
watch the whole thing. I want to hear it.
Whoopsies.
I want to hear. Whoopsie.
That's all you can say.
Yeah, that's all you can say. So, are you guys looking forward to the opening day next year of everything getting back to normal? How are you going to feel about it with everything back open? Do people have to be vaccinated for you to get back out there? Mask? What are you feeling?
Well, I mean, the hope is that we are back to some sense of normalcy, but that kind of brings up questions: is are we going to get there? Like, what's normalcy a year from now? I don't know. You know, I mean, we can cross our fingers and just hope that next year it's like you said, it's a full bar and it's, you know, packed in there. You know what I mean? That's what we hope it is. Okay.
I mean, I'm totally with you. I just hope that next year everything gets back to normal, and we don't got to worry about this because I want to get back to I missed the tailgates yesterday.
Yes. I miss
like
tailgating.
The tailgates is really the best part where you kind of meet the new people, and then you just start getting handed a beer, sometimes free food, and then, you know, if you're like me and my friends, after you catch a couple of clouds, you might just act like you're cool in somebody's tailgate.
What do you?
I'm too old to understand
I don't
what he's talking
understand
about.
what does catch a couple clouds mean?
You know what that means. Don't play with me. You listen to Wiz Khalifa.
I will say,
it's like reefer madness or something, right?
Yeah. I will
Cheech and
say
Chong
though,
stuff?
like compared to, because you know, you guys have been to other opening days. Compared to this one, percentage-wise, or on a scale of 1 to 10, how does it compare to a typical opening day? And also, if you allow me, I have a rant against Terry Foster.
Ooh.
I think it was a 1.
A 1 out of 10?
Yeah.
I'll give it a 5. I give it a. Here's why I give it a 5. Because opening days in Michigan, even when it was bad weather out, at worst it would be about an 8. 7.5, 8.
It's a spectacle.
At worst. For it to look like it did, given the circumstances, that's why I'm like, okay, I'm gonna at least go 5.
But that's on the COVID scale.
Yeah, I'm grading it on the curve because of COVID.
On a curve.
Okay.
The other thing that I have to bring up is Terry said that he was going to take me under his wing, that him and I were going to be boys and we're going to, you know, experience opening day. You know what he did? He showed me an appropriate place to park my car where I wouldn't have to pay every 2 hours, and then he left. He left me. He left me, Kory. And then did you guys end up going out to lunch?
No, you thought I dipped out because now here's where everything gets funny. I was looking for you and Terry because I thought you two dipped. I'm like, where the hell they go? And they're like, oh, they went out to go grab something. I'm like, well, damn, I just looked up I was just near them. They were talking about it. I looked down on my phone and look up, and y'all was gone.
Yeah, no, he was helping me find a place to park, and we found a place to park, and then he's like, yeah, that's a great place to eat. That's a great place to eat, Mr. Peabody, blah, blah, blah. Then he just leaves me. He just left me. He left me.
Like a
him
thief in
and
the
Sean. Sean was gone at literally 1:01.
No, but
bolted.
Sean said that.
Yeah,
that is true.
He literally said
that is true.
When the show was done, I'm off at 1:01. I hope to be to my car by 1:02. He literally said that.
I would love to hear Terry's thoughts on what opening day was for him yesterday. Like, what did he think? Because I think that's sort of where he's probably has a better perspective of what opening day is.
Yeah.
For what he's done throughout his career, I'd love for him to.
We're definitely going to have to get his perspective. What you got, Art?
Someone's got a question. I watched the entire episode yesterday. This is what Ryan says on YouTube. Did Sean even get fed once?
No,
I think he was in a pretty chipper mood all day.
It was okay. So I was telling everybody this before we started. I've been doing the whole bar show thing with Sean since like 2003, I think, in that range. And never before in the history of my interactions with him has he been in a situation like that and not eaten. I mean multiple things. Like there have been times where he will walk around and ask people, "Are you done eating that?" And he will finish things.
You're kidding.
No, I'm not. So for him not to eat yesterday, and I said it yesterday, it was like sending off alarm bells in my brain. Like,
maybe he really just had that one-track mind of getting in and getting out.
He might have. Yeah.
Imagine being that old.
Listen, I left at 1 o'clock and 5 seconds, so I got nothing to say.
Woo.
Maybe less than 5 seconds.
It's like going to a concert and not even staying for the first song. How dare you?
Okay.
It is a unique situation going on. I mean,
don't stand up for that.
I'm just saying, COVID is real, so there may be some people who are just apprehensive about it. Like, hey, I'm here to do the show, but after
I could understand
show,
if that was the excuse, but what it was Sean was like, I don't want to go to the game. I don't want to be there. I don't want to do it. And then the second 1 o'clock hit, he was out. It had nothing to do with COVID.
But what else? What else did he need to do?
Eat food and hang out with his friend Art.
Okay.
I think Art's just a little hurt.
Art's mad.
Art's sad.
This vaccine's really getting to me today.
Do you need a hug?
Bro, I'm so tired and like my legs hurt and I'm just it's the
I did hear that the vaccine causes some effects.
Yeah.
So adverse side effects. It varies from person to person. Right now, Art is
moody.
I mean, but Art is always moody. But it's just.
But earlier, Art was like, "I'm having a hot flash." I'm like, "He's the shot is making him go." Yes.
Yeah.
He's going through menopause because of his COVID.
He's going through the change.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's the change. I mean, I think if I'm menopausal though,
well, then you don't get a monthly period anymore.
But then I can't get pregnant either. So there's that.
That's
No, I will say.
But hey, you can let it fly though.
I could
if you're not getting pregnant.
Yeah, let's not get too crazy.
Rip it.
I will say I got the shot yesterday.
We have definitely lost all cabin pressure.
I got the show yesterday at 8:40, and by 5 o'clock I was like, man, I'm really tired. I woke up this morning, my feet. It feels like I have cement blocks for feet. I'm tired. I'm sweating, and then I'm cold. Like right now, I'm freezing.
So you are now
like you're pregnant.
You're experiencing what it's like to be 50. Or in a normal situation.
Yeah.
Are your feet swelling?
My feet hurt.
Yeah. I need a foot massage. I need a nap. Yeah.
This chair is killing my ass kind of thing. It's like I'm 50 now.
Oh my God.
Sorry.
And Art's over there, he's just turning red as hell.
Bro, don't tell me that because it's like a weird reaction to the virus. I don't want it.
Oh, no, I think you're just blushing. It's cool.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I swore.
Yeah. Well,
I owe $1.
Oh, yeah.
All right, do you guys want to go to break and we'll talk about some sports stuff?
Yeah,
please.
Yeah.
Save
we'll
us.
be right back, and we're going to talk about KD versus Michael Rappaport. That right there is going to be another, probably another boatload of laughs.
Yeah.
Well, the wheels are they're off the bus to
begin.
Yeah,
this show is totally off the rails, so we'll be right back.
Hey, it's Joey from Woodward Sports, and I am here in downtown Fenton at Bridge Street Exchange. This place has so many amazing things for guys and ladies. This is the hidden spot that you got to come check out. I'm talking thorough good boots, best boots ever. They have barware. They got the Stormy Cromer hats. They got Carhartt hats, a huge Carhartt selection. They even got Snoop Dogg underwear. So go check them out, bridgestreetexchange.com, and use the code word WSN for 15% off.
You good?
If you...
I don't know what that move was, but I don't want to know either.
Yeah.
You know what?
We'll drop it.
Today is an interesting day at Woodward Sports. Thank you guys for watching. This is the Baligian and Bell Show. Kory Woods filling in with Broadwell, Kay Kennedy, and Scott Bischoff. And whew, you thought the last segment was something. We got to talk about this. Kevin Durant versus Michael Rappaport. If you guys have not heard about this story, Brooklyn Nets star Kevin Durant has exchanged some rather
choice
words. There we go. Choice words with Michael Rappaport, who's a well-known, I won't say well-known, but moderately well-known actor, producer, director. And they said there was some homophobic, misogynistic,
So he was calling him a cocksucker. He wasn't using like the F slur.
Oh my God!
Or like
Give
that.
me some earmuffs.
Swear jar.
I hope no one's around their kids.
Swear.
But I'm saying what he said, so it doesn't
You don't
count.
have to celebrate
Not
it.
my words.
Yeah, but
I'm too broke to give money in the swear jar. I'm in college. Leave me alone.
Oh, yeah. But, too, I was just reading some of the text messages, well, direct messages, and...
Are they going on the screen? I don't know anything about any of this.
So, I don't know if we can read any of these, but...
I think she probably can.
Apparently, Michael Rappaport released, the director, he released the direct messages between him and Kevin Durant where he says, I receive threats and disgusting messages daily, but never in my wildest dreams did I think Kevin Durant would be among them. Then he used a snake emoji. It said the snake himself is now threatening me, bringing up my wife and wants to fight. This is supposed to be America's sweetheart, right?
This is how it started. So there was an interview with TNT with Charles Barkley. I think Shaq was there and KD.
Oh, yeah, I seen that interview live.
And basically, Michael Rappaport posted this tweet. So if you read the first tweet, KD seemed deeply in his feelings with the NBA on TNT crew after the game. Damn it, he's super sensitive about everything. Don't do the interview. So this screenshot right here is KD replying to that and calling Michael Rappaport a bitch. And then Michael Rappaport said, just do the effing interview if you are upset about something. And then they go back and forth and back and forth. And to the point to where KD wanted to fight Michael Rappaport and meet him on like a street corner in New York City. It's nuts. It's nuts.
It's totally nuts.
Why did this happen?
Well, you know what? I know why it happened. I know it happened because, just to be real, Kevin Durant, he's soft when it comes to these things. He has a fragile mindset. He does not like many of these younger athletes. They do not like being disrespected by anybody. Well, nobody likes to be disrespected. They don't like being called out.
Yeah.
But what do we think about Michael Rappaport, though? I mean, what's the story with that?
Now, here's my thing about Michael Rappaport. Kevin Durant used some choice language, but Michael Rappaport uses the same choice language when he goes at these athletes and these celebrities. If you look at his Instagram account.
Yeah, here's a video actually of him responding to it.
Controlling the narrative. So many young athletes talk about controlling the narrative. Well, you guys have inspired me to control my own narrative. I just released a brand new banging, fully disruptive emergency. It's an emergency I Am Rappaport stereo podcast where I give an oral history of my relationship of Kevin Durant, how it started, and how we got here. I read every single and all DM, the whole entire DM exchange, okay? I break down all the bullshit, plus...
So, needless to say, he went on his podcast. I listened to it because he got me hook, line, and sinker. And he read every single DM between him and KD. And it did get pretty aggressive. I can see both sides of it, though. I could see, like, as a personality, how you feel as though you have, like, whatever space to say whatever you want. At the same time, I can see why KD was offended because you have this guy who looks like powder, the whitest person ever, insulting you. It's a double-edged sword. Did I offend you?
Did you just say that?
Powder. Yeah, you're not. I didn't say you.
No, I think with Rappaport, though, I think it is literally like that's his wheelhouse.
Yeah.
I mean, it is wrestling with a pig.
Yeah.
No offense, Michael. I mean, but it's. I think he's really comfortable and happy to be in that scenario where he's going after somebody like what he did.
I think Kevin.
So why do it?
I think Michael Rappaport had more to gain from that exchange than Kevin Durant did. And the one thing that I was really upset with Kevin Durant was that this is Michael Rappaport's stick. You know this. You know that all he does is he baits athletes. He baits personalities, and you could say that Kevin Durant should not respond. Anybody's going to respond to stuff when they feel slighted and disrespected. It's just that you wish Kevin Durant would not have responded because he can recognize like, hey, this is his stuff. Don't get caught up on him.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like that's a tough.
It's the one thing I did not.
Because he really came at him like reckless.
Yeah, the one thing I didn't like though was. Michael Rappaport, KD is not coming to your crib. He's not bringing no goons your way. All KD's gonna do is talk. I don't know why he leaked them. Like,
Because it's great for
his brand.
It is. It's like the perfect thing for his brand.
It's a total clout
KD
grab.
made Michael Rappaport money yesterday.
But
that's the point.
But KD got so triggered. I mean, your wife mad as fuck because you're wasting that little bit of money on a lawyer because you can't take a joke. How pussy are you? Your wife doesn't even respect your bitch ass. Like, this isn't just like, hey, fuck you, hey, fuck you. This is like full blown like assault.
But that's KD.
Assault.
It's KD.
Yeah.
That is. He is just. His heart pumps Kool-Aid. I mean, that is just him. I'm not excusing it though. You have to be better than that. But at the same time, Michael Rappaport, I don't act like you're just so super innocent in this. That's why I'm just like, hey man, was KD wrong? Yeah. Just don't try to walk around here like you're a saint.
No, he was pushing buttons.
Yeah, you needled him.
Yeah.
Like the Jay-Z meme, like.
Yeah.
He put the bait in the water.
Yeah.
For sure. He did.
And going at, like you said, someone like KD, who you know you're going to get this rise from, he knew what he was getting himself into.
Have you guys ever been in a situation like that where somebody, you know, you're arguing with somebody and you know they said something intentional just to piss you off? That it had nothing to do with anything that you guys were arguing about, but they went left just on purpose.
Yeah. Yes.
Any that can be shared or just like,
no.
nah. I was trying to lead them into an art. They didn't take the bait.
What is the point of it? Like, you know somebody's trolling you. What is the point?
Here's the other thing, too. I mean, it gets deeper. It just keeps going. There's so many. And you guys made a great point. Like, this is exactly what Michael Rappaport wants. Because this increases his entertainment value and drama value tenfold. People live for this stuff. I knew very little about Rappaport before this. Now I'm obsessed. Like, I knew him.
Does the Barstool thing from 2 days ago have anything to do with
100%.
Him wanting to...
He's upset that there's a bad image of him right now because Dave Portnoy, won the disposition, that he has to come full attack mode. What's the next best thing? Oh, professional athlete. That's one of the best. So it makes sense. I just don't think it puts either actor in this movie in a good spotlight. Like, they both look like idiots.
But they're both in the spotlight.
Right. Exactly.
Right.
Maybe that's what they want.
Who do you think will win in a fight?
To go to your question is, if somebody's trolling you, they're looking for you to be either offended or upset or some sort of retaliation kind of thing, and it's like, why?
You know what? I'm starting to see it more now. Honestly, especially since I got here at Woodward Sports.
You got some haters?
You know what? If I do have haters, I'll let you and other people call them haters. I don't really like to call them haters. I like to call them, detractors.
Yeah.
I don't want to. I feel when I personally say I have haters, I feel like it's like me, kissing my own ass or sniffing myself. But I will say I do have people that, since I've gotten to Woodward Sports and as I've been able to increase my access, they've started to try to troll me more and bait me more into having arguments, and then instead of just really trying to have a conversation, and we can finish this on what we're spreading. I'm like, oh, okay, I see what you're trying to do. You're trying to not. I was born at night, not last night, so you can't fool me with that one.
Do you think Rappaport was in the wrong for sharing the DMs?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I think he was wrong, and I think he was wrong in this sense. He's gonna go back and do his same old shtick later on down the line, using the same language that he got butthurt about KD using against him. He's going to use it against somebody else, and what's it going to be to? Improve his platform, improve his name. Oh, you hear what Michael Rappaport said about this? Because before then, I knew of Michael Rappaport because of him dissing a LeBron James, of him dissing a Kevin Durant, of him dissing a Kyrie Irving, and he's using the same damn language. So it's kind of like with this, he threw a rock and he hit his hands.
Also, another question: how many rounds would this fight go?
Are you serious?
It's the over/under.
You know what?
I heard according to Rappaport, hang on. According to Rappaport, Durant is the biggest wussy in the NBA. Out of all the players and athletes he could have an actual fight with, Rappaport thinks
he's still in the NBA.
Here's what look. Here's what people have to realize. And I had to tell this to one of my friends who I won't say friend. There's this guy who I know who said that he could take which WNBA player was he said that he could take Candace Parker.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
I'm like, in what? Connect Four? Monopoly? No, I mean, I'm big. I could back her down. I'm like, Candace Parker would embarrass you on the court because Candace Parker embarrasses most professional athletes, male professional athletes. So if she can embarrass an NBA player, she can embarrass your ass. So to my point is that Michael Rappaport can't take no KD because those athletes are of the premier tip-top shape in the world.
Okay.
The worst player on the bench is in better shape than anybody in this building.
Yeah.
Would you pay a pay-per-view rate or gather with your friends to watch it? Celebrity boxing's a big thing. That's all that I'm saying.
No, not at all.
No?
No.
It would be over so fast.
I mean, but it gets people talking. I think people would buy the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
People would watch that just as much as Jake Paul and Ben Askren.
I'm still trying to figure out who the hell those two are.
And listen,
Jake Paul, it's every day, bro.
Yeah, Jake Paul did knock out Nate Robinson.
Okay, look.
I mean, Michael Rappaport could have some hands.
Look,
I mean, that was a nice punch, but this is different. The next one, right? Don't you think?
Yeah. Okay, look. Here's the thing. Nate Robinson, he looked like he had more bark than bite. I've seen Nate Robinson fight before in an NBA fight. He got flung around like a little doll. So when I saw him get knocked out, it wasn't like, oh,
he was very excited to get that going. He was.
He was too excited.
He walked into a punch. But Jake Paul trains and he
puts
and
in
that's
the work.
the thing. You can say what you want. If the guy trains and another guy just thinks that, oh, because I'm from the hood and I'm going to go ahead and box you up, it don't work like that because I've seen dudes, I've been in situations where dudes act like just because they're from the hood or I'm from this mile that they could fight. They're the first ones that get put in their ass. Like me,
do we think Michael Rappaport's out this morning running like Rocky and throwing jabs and no, come on.
He has no shot. He has no shot.
I feel like
in
an
him.
old man right now. I'm irritated at all this crap.
You know what? But who is there a celebrity boxer? Hold on. You know what? Art, I want to ask you about that in 1 second. Before I ask you, I want to ask Art.
Okay.
Who is the celebrity boxer versus athlete combo that you want to see next? Let's get into that in 1 second, Art.
I'm looking to bring on another HVAC tech right now.
We are recruiting 5 to 10 techs a month.
We're looking to grow and expand. Every new tech we hire is from Northwestern Tech.
The hands-on training is fantastic.
They're always my first call.
We love hiring Northwestern Tech grads.
They come out trained and ready to work.
Our program is only 10.5 months, and our next classes are starting soon. So why wait?
I'm looking to hire
a graduate
of Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Interest rates have started to fluctuate, so now is the time to call Hall Financial. You don't know what is going to happen, so be smart. Make the call now while rates are low because you could be saving some big money. Hall Financial, they're fast. They do all the heavy lifting for you. Go to davidhallmortgage.com now to get started. Hall Financial, lower payments, better options, and more personal attention. Back to Scott, Kennedy, and Kory on the Baligian and Bell Show.
Yo, thanks a lot, Art. You know, we're up here talking about these celebrity boxers and these athletes fighting. You know what? I just thought of a story. I'm going to have to figure out how I can tell it without revealing all of the names involved.
Oh, boy.
Perfect.
Because, but, okay, now I know how to do it. One of my fraternity brothers, God, I hope I don't get a phone call after this. One of my fraternity brothers got into a fight with a former U of M running back, and knocked him out. I'm not going to say what.
How former? And like was he? Well, you were in college. Was he still in college? Was he a running back?
I feel like
at the time?
it's Mike Hart.
So anyway,
no way.
That was incredible.
Busted.
Anyway, yeah, it was a situation where one of my fraternity brothers apparently knocked out a running back from U of M. I'm not saying who it is, but I heard the story where the guy was just mouthing off to him. And if you know who if you see my frat brother, I might bring him around here one day. If you see him, this is not a guy that you mouth off to. So apparently the guy mouthed off to him, and he went to sleep. I'm not saying who it is, though. I'm not. I just got kind of shocked.
If you guys could pick one celebrity athlete combination for a celebrity boxing match, like like a Jake Paul and a Ben Askren, or a Scott, like who would you like to see your favorite athlete Sidney Crosby face?
Mike Tyson in his prime.
Beautiful.
My favorite athlete. I feel like I have to justify that a little. He's one of, if not the best hockey player in the world, and I understand that. There's just.
You have to hate him based on where you're currently located.
Maybe a little bit of that, but some of it's just like, maybe mental illness from me. Like, why would you hate him so much? And there's just, I don't know. It's odd. But yeah, no, I don't really know that I have like, to answer your question. I don't know that I would even think like who's an athlete and who's is that what you asked?
Yeah, like we have reactions in here. Ryan says Chris Hemsworth. He would like to see Chris Hemsworth fight. He'd like to see Pretty Boy Floyd get knocked out, but that's not. I mean, that's an actual boxer. But
what about Jason Momoa?
Jason Momoa would
Can I tell a story?
Yeah.
Okay, my wife. Hi. So we're at the movies, and this is. She's gonna kill me, but that's okay. So, our two kids are next to us, and I don't even know what movie it is, but Justice League, the trailer comes on, and his face shows up on the screen, and she goes, "Oh," and it's like loud in the theater, and I'm like, "Are you serious? You just did that? Really?" But yeah, it's a thing. So it's like one of those things where Jason, she would have a pass there.
Are you saying that you want to fight Jason Momoa?
No.
We can set that up, Scott.
I wanted to tell the story of how I felt great about myself at that moment.
Hey, you know what? Me and her are still cool, but my ex-girlfriend, she used to have a thing for, how your wife would have with Jason Momoa. She used to have a thing like that for Reggie Bush. Anytime she saw Reggie Bush, I'm going to get it twisted. My ex-girlfriend is a respectable woman. Great, one of my still really good friends with her. But when Reggie Bush comes up, all that respectable woman kind of just goes out the window. It's just she turns into like almost predator behavior. It's just like. Are you the same person who was just talking about we should do things like this and do like this and like this? It's just like some of the stuff that would come in her mouth. I'm like, oh, okay.
Hey, what do you think about this paint color, Reggie Bush? Oh,
I was just like, all right, you know what?
We just got a Twitter comment: Wendy Williams versus Clarissa Shields. That would be
Wendy Williams. I would love her to. I would love
you
that.
know what?
Wow.
Art, whoever that is, they got me. I'd pay for that shit.
I would too.
I would pay because I would love to see Clarissa give Wendy hers.
Yeah.
Whoo, that's a damn
another
good
Twitter
one.
suggestion: Tom Cruise versus Justin Bieber.
Oh, please.
I don't know who would win that.
I don't know either, but a drone strike would work.
The battle of the 3 feet guys?
5'8", please.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Don't be hurtful.
Yeah.
Don't come at Biebs.
No, Biebs is cool. I just take Tom Cruise somewhere and put him in a box.
Is there any athlete that you think would transfer really well into MMA? I've always thought about that. I feel like LeBron James would probably do pretty well. Shaq in a heavyweight division would murder people just by flicking them.
Honestly, I think you got to look more towards hockey and in some cases football because
But like a safety would.
Yeah. So for a football, Kory, you've seen this, right? I mean, it's a car crash sport, and honestly, I have always thought that these people are nuts. Like an NFL player who's willing to go put himself on TV to potentially be embarrassed to tackle big, fast guys, and I mean, it's a little bit like that's crazy. But there have been some like Andre Johnson. Mm-hmm. Remember the Andre Johnson Cortland Finnegan fight?
Oh man,
yeah.
Andre was punching him through the helmet.
I mean, would you want to deal with Andre Johnson anywhere? No.
And Andre, he's a big dude.
Yeah.
There is one guy. He's so left field, and I'm gonna explain why. Tony Gonzalez. Reason I say him is because from a few things that I've read in one of my fraternity brothers, he's really into fitness. Tony Gonzalez is supposed to be like one of the most physically fit players ever, and he can do every range of motion perfectly. I'm thinking like that might just be able to help him out with, kind of combat different styles and, reverses and counters and stuff like that, just being that flexible.
Maybe.
I think we've entered a world now where it's like Terry was on with Kory earlier this week, and it was Terry versus Rob Parker at the Palace. Like, people love that type of content. As much as I hate to admit that I'm even going to remotely watch Ben Askren versus Jake Paul, I'm going to watch it. When you look at that celebrity/boxer/athlete, it kind of really, got jump-started with the celebrity death matches on MTV, which were great. But is there anybody that you would personally want to challenge?
Oh, my God, no.
Come on, Scott.
Jesus.
Sean's been talking all that guff
There's
when you're
not
not
anyone
around.
you would want to fight?
No.
Nobody?
I have no desire to have my ass kicked.
What if you had training?
Is it celebrity or athlete?
I'm not going to train for it. What do you mean, what if I were? No.
You said celebrity or athlete?
It's either or. Like, is there someone out there that you just see them on TV and you're like, I can't stand
Jason
you?
Momoa.
Kennedy?
Who
is
I'm
it?
really trying to think here. Like, I'm just like, who? Like, when I see them on the screen, it pisses me off. I can't think of anyone. Well, Aaron Rodgers, but I know I would not win that fight, so I would not enter.
Who do you got, Kory?
If I have to go quote-unquote celebrity, I don't have to train for this guy. I can just go do it right now.
Ooh.
I would go kick Sean Hannity's ass easily.
You know who I think I could take maybe? Matt Patricia.
Yeah, you just take the pencil out of his ear.
I have no idea what you would do with him. Like, what do you do with Matt Patricia?
I don't know. I'd probably just bounce off his flub.
You take his pencil, then the fight's over.
Yeah.
Just
get him with the pencil.
Yeah.
Sean Hannity, huh?
I would just love to just kick him just right. Just shake him, Yeah, easily. But if I had to go athlete, then I'd have to do some training.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd recommend that.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd recommend it either. But you know what? If there's an athlete I think I could take, and that's just off of seeing him fight, I think I might be able to take Reggie Miller.
I think jealousy is talking a lot right now.
Jealousy?
I think a past situation is talking right now.
Which one?
Well, didn't you just mention your ex? Oh, it was Reggie Bush.
No, I said no. Reggie Miller is the one I could fight. Reggie Bush, I ain't about to.
No.
Yeah,
pass on Reggie Bush.
Snap your head off.
I ain't saying I ain't no punk. If I had to defend myself against Reggie Bush, I would. But I ain't about to go pick a fight with Reggie Bush.
You?
I'm not about to go pick one.
Do we have a moment for a story? Because this encapsulates my feelings as to why I would never do this kind of stuff.
Okay.
So back in 1991, I know it's forever ago, but I was 20 years old. This is 1990 in late summer. I'm 20 years old. We're in Hamtramck, a couple of friends and I. There is a brawl happening at the end of the Polish festival. And I mean a brawl, like an all-out riot. So, tough guy here. What is my reaction? I'm going inside somewhere into a bar because I want nothing to do with this. Right? And the reason why I know it's 1990 is because I'm not old enough to get into a bar, so they won't let me in. So, they push us back out into the street where we are now surrounded by, I would say, 18-year-old kids. And there's Now 4 of us, not 3 of us. And the guy standing next to me is like teeing off on these kids. I ain't even kids. They're young adults. And the noise it's making when he's punching them is like horrifying, right? I get punched. I'm laying on the ground, which is where I want to be anyway. I want nothing to do with any of this. I'm just being honest. Nothing to do with it. And the guy who's next to me picks me up, and I look up, and it's Bob Probert. Swear to God. And he is just, and it's a circle, and they're coming at him, and he's punching them, and it's like you could hear like their faces breaking.
Oh,
the noise it was making is crazy. Have you ever heard like somebody get hit with a fist?
And it's a
thumb, not a glove. A fist.
I have a story.
So somebody died that day. Ooh. Yeah, this is how this whole thing went. His friends found him. It was a white van they picked him up in, and they told him, "We need to get you out of here." It was crazy.
Wait,
but
somebody really died?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
yeah. It was like 1990 in the summer in Hamtramck. I don't know if you can Google it or whatever, but sure. They picked him up and they're like, "You got to get out of here. This is crazy." But it's the noise it was making.
That thud.
Yes, and at that point it was like, I don't want to mess with any of these people.
Yeah,
it's just different.
Yeah, one of my I'm telling the frat stories. But another, it's so many of us, but we had a party at my frat house several years ago. About 10 years ago, and big, a lot of other fraternity brothers from out of town come in. Big party, everybody was there. One of them happened to be going to the NFL. Don't want to say his name, but he was there, and somebody tried him. One of the younger guys was just mouthing off to him while drunk, and he's like, "Hey man, just go on over there, just relax." Guy kept mouthing off to him. He picked this guy up. He picked this guy up with one hand, and it was like one of those off the movies. And all you see is the guy just, and he sit him down, and he just. We were just like, "Oh my God, we're all going to jail," because that guy he literally picked him up, and it was just like a punching bag, like a speed bag.
Oh my.
Hey, real quick, Kory, Easy made a great point. You already called out an athlete.
No, I didn't say any names.
No, remember when you called out Joik Bell? That's what Easy's saying. Don't.
See, I didn't call out Joik Bell on no fighting.
Okay.
I just said Joik Bell could come see me about his show.
Oh.
Now, Easy did something totally left that I wouldn't do. I'm doing something in jest of humor and entertainment for the Baligian and Bell show. Easy, you did something different. You on your own. Like on Friday? No. No, don't pull me into your scrap on that one. You see, y'all saw
I would not be messing with
you. Saw he tried to rope me into that. Like, yeah. Kory said something. Nope. Don't do that. So yeah, that's where this all started from. KD and hold on, what you got something?
Yeah, real quick. So it's in the comments here. So Bob Probert saved you then?
He picked me up off the ground.
Wow.
That's what he did.
Now,
and I looked at him and I was like, "Oh my God."
Was he ever charged or anything in that fight? Like,
no, he left out. I shouldn't be telling this story. None of this should have happened. Mistakes were made. No, I mean, it was nuts. I mean, it was absolutely nuts. And it was horrifying because it was like there were different groups of people fighting different groups of people everywhere. It was horrifying. It was like, I got to get out of here.
I think
I'm not talking about regular fighting. I'm talking about like, this is scary.
Have you ever been in this? Okay, real quick. Have you ever been in a situation where it wasn't as bad and you had a good memory with an athlete? Because this one seemed like Bob Probert saved your life, even though that's still a good memory.
Well, no, he didn't save my life. It was more like he just picked me up off the ground. But I will tell you, the walking from that point to get to the car was, the heart rate was up.
Gotcha.
Because we were being followed. It was like, this is
a situation.
Yeah, this was nuts.
They don't play in Hamtramck.
It was crazy.
Play.
Damn. Well, you know what? I want to ask you about some good memories with some athletes. I definitely have one, and we'll be right back in 1 second.
I mean, we're inside Grove Green right now, and they have everything. I'm talking, you got your active air fans, you got your big lights over there, big pots, little pots, and Joey, what are you doing right now? Get some sun. That's not what those lights are for. Feels nice. Go to Grow Green MI today to get all your growing needs and a tan.
All right, if your bracket's busted, well, I mean, March Madness is almost over anyway, but they're never busted when you bet with MyBookie. They have all the games that you can bet any way you want. Parlay straight against the spread. There are thousands of lines and prop bets on all the games, so do yourself a favor. Get a head start by signing up today with the promo code Woodward. That's Woodward, all one word, and they're going to match your first deposit halfway up to $1,000. That's free cash credited to your account instantly on top of your deposit. The best part is you'll always have access to the action, whether you're at home or on the go. Visit the website online or on your phone, mybookie.ag. Use the promo code Woodward to grab yourself a deposit bonus. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie.
Hey, you guys are watching the Woodward Sports Network, and this is the Baligian and Bell Show. This is Kory Woods with Kennedy and Scott Bischoff, and we just talked about some wild moments. We went from the KD and Rappaport situation to some wild moments with these athletes, but I just kind of made me think about, have you had any fun moments with any professional athletes? And I definitely have one story I want to lead off with. It was my 23rd birthday, and it was this club downtown. It switched so many different names. Art might remember it. It's the last name it was called the White House, but before that, I forgot what it was called before then. I can't remember. It'll come to me. No, it was called Elysium. But anyway, I was there for 23rd birthday. My fraternity brother, he was the promoter. So I went ahead and got me a bottle service, got me a booth, and got me a Ciroc bottle. Thing cost like $3.50 for the night. Anyway, the booth next to me was Jason Richardson. I believe he was playing for the Golden State Warriors at that time. I'm like, oh, Jay Rich, you one of my favorite dunkers, blah, 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 blah. And then he like, oh, that's what's up, what you doing? I'm like, I'm here to celebrate my birthday. I'm like, oh, where your drink at? And I'm like, oh, it's in my booth right here. Like, oh, nah. He goes and reaches for his Ciroc and pours me a drink pours me and a couple of my friends out of his bottle. I'm like, all right, cool, thanks a lot. Nope, didn't stop there. Anytime he saw me and my boy the rest of the night, he got us drinks.
Aw.
It's awesome.
We all had bad mornings.
I bet you did.
Yeah.
Because they drink.
Yeah.
They were drinking that night, and I'm a drinker. Well, I was a drinker, but that night he made his mission to get me messed up. Great birthday though.
Did he succeed?
Oh yeah, he succeeded. We actually ended up breaking the table in my booth. That's how crazy that night went. So yeah. Have you guys had any fun moments with professional athletes?
I went to high school with, some DeShon Kizer. He was the quarterback for the Browns for a hot second. It did not go well for him. But while he was the quarterback of the Browns, he came back to Toledo, where we all went to high school, and he had bought his parents a house and then built like his own little addition. Mm-hmm. So we all were like partying in his like little party room or whatever. And yeah, same thing. He supplied the night. He supplied the Ubers. We went downtown, and yeah, that was fun. I guess that's like really the only professional athlete I've hung out with while I was like of age. So
of age. Okay.
Of age too.
Good answer.
Good answer.
Andre Ware.
Oh.
Used to see him at this one particular bar, and he was just a dancing machine. I mean, machine.
Oh, what is
and
it?
At that
what
point
is
in
it?
my life, I was trying to be. It wasn't happening, but I was trying to be. And I think about this crap, and it's like, what an embarrassment. Like, thinking about myself as a 21, 22-year-old, like, on the dance floor, what are you thinking? But I was there, and he was there, and it was fun. We'd high-fiving, and all. Yeah, it was crazy. Good memories.
I'm laughing because you said it was Andre Ware. There was another former Detroit athlete by the name of Andre who is a dancing machine, and his name is Andre Drummond. Any club you saw him at Metro Detroit, Andre Drummond was either trying to DJ, trying to rap, or he was out there dancing, and he was dancing with his good old buddy Eric Ebron. I used to call Andre Drummond Dance Fever 0 because he was always just out there just ticking and everything like that. No, but don't get it twisted. I still love Andre Drummond, but I had to give him that nickname because he was always just out there living it up.
We've got some comments. I met Tyson at a Phoenix airport 2 separate times. That's my whole story. Thank you, Ryan. Joey 2 times says, I was in traffic next to Samuel L. Jackson when I went to L.A. back in the day. I was driving down Rodeo and looked over, and there was Sam with his backwards a Kangol hat and a convertible Beamer. Prater's wife and sister-in-law both worked at Tilted Kilt in Scottsdale, Arizona. We know for a fact that Prater slept with his sister-in-law before proposing to his wife. And then, I don't know. I'm just reading the comments.
Someone fact check that.
Come on, man. And then Speakeasy says, I got high with Darren McCarty. So,
yeah.
Yeah. Listen, don't sue me over that. I'm just reading the comments off of YouTube. I should have read that ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you? He's in there like, what did you just read?
Yeah, like, yeah. You just read it so casually, like that's just.
He was like, oh.
Joey 2 times says, I met Steve-O at a meet and greet after his show. That's it. Steve-O is known for meeting everyone after his shows, and he would be a fun guy to party with. He doesn't drink or do drugs anymore, but still, like, that would be a fun time.
You know who meets with? I don't know. Well, I'm pretty sure he doesn't do it anymore, but we booked Big Sean for a show at Eastern Michigan for our showcase, and I believe at that time he just dropped his Finally Famous Volume 3 mixtape. It was before his first album. Not only did we sell out that show, but we almost got fined for being in a building too late because Sean stayed after and took pictures and signed autographs of every fan that was still there.
Aww.
Because apparently what happened was he did a previous show at the Majestic with Wiz Khalifa, and apparently Wiz Khalifa was famous. He had like a famous bong at that time, and Sean got.
What's a bong?
Look it up.
Our little angel over here.
But anyway, he got Wiz Khalifa got Sean so high that he went out and did one of his worst shows ever, in his own words. So the show that he did for us was like his comeback show. And
so he was showing off a touch.
I can show you video of that show. That to this day is still the biggest sellout for the Pease Auditorium at Eastern Michigan. We were kind of worried because the capacity was 1,500, and like that Monday of the show, we only had like 300 tickets sold. We sold everything else at the door.
I bet you did.
Yeah.
Fish has something to tell us, but I have one more. As we're talking about this, there's memories. I totally forgot about this one, and it's a great one.
Go ahead.
Nobody
Fish.
else will think it's a great one, but I do. Fish, what's happening?
I didn't even know this was physically possible, but Bill Self signed a lifetime contract with Kansas for basketball.
Lifetime,
yeah.
Okay.
Lifetime contract. Didn't even know that was possible.
Well,
yeah. So
who knows?
Well, he's gonna be there to the day he dies.
I guess so.
I suppose he's there until he wants to not be there anymore.
All right, then.
I feel like that's where we are with Harbaugh.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sorry.
They're gonna.
Sorry,
you know what's gonna happen? Harbaugh he's never going to leave, and here's why. I did some research just on Michigan's records, their trends, and everything like that. He's really not too far off from where Michigan has always been. It's just that Michigan, back in the day, they would occasionally or every now and then beat Ohio State. So
there were times when Michigan would roll through Ohio State over a 10-year period.
You felt a little bit better about some of those seasons, but the fact that you're having those seasons and you're not beating Ohio State, it's glaring like a sore thumb.
Yeah, and you're not competitive against other teams where it's like this is just not. This is abnormal.
Yeah, you'd at least you're not going to win all of those big games, but you'd expect.
How about one?
One, just one.
So the story is this: I was at a concert at the Shelter. I don't even know when this was. This is a long time ago, and the band was Oleander, and somebody else, and I have no idea who it was. And we got talking to their drummer, and I don't know how this happened, but we started talking to their drummer, and they played their set, and we continued talking to their drummer, and we ended up going backstage and there was nobody back there. The band, the crew, and us, like 3 of us. And there was no bartender. So we just took it upon ourselves to start pouring drinks for them. And then the singer started to tell us stories about the songs he had written. And he told us there's a song called Stupid. And he tells us, as the guitar player is like 5 feet from him, that the song's about the guitar player. The entire song's about the guitar player and how stupid he is. And apparently they didn't like each other very much. And the singer was telling us like he couldn't understand that they played that song every show, and he didn't understand how the guitar player couldn't figure out he was talking about him. Wow. So it went on. But yeah, that kind of stuff. That's a good memory. That was fun. That was a fun one.
That's messed up.
A little bit, but it was fun.
Well, hey, let's go ahead and move on. Draymond Green. You know what? Before we get into this, did we find out the article or any of you where Draymond Green said this? Because apparently I've seen the meme of Draymond Green said he's tired about the women players arguing about the equal pay. Mm-hmm. Have you?
Yeah, so it came from TMZ.
Okay,
and that's why
the most reliable source.
But he said that he's really tired of seeing female athletes complain about the lack of pay, and he's insisting the time for griping is over and there needs to be more action. Now, with the clickbait is when you see a title like this, Draymond Green tired of women complaining.
Yeah.
When you sent me the article, I was like ready to fight him, and then I actually read it, and I was like, oh,
that's
okay.
what TMZ is great at, you know. But he goes on to say that they're not laying out steps that they can take to change the pay disparity. So it's coming off as a complaint because these people that can change it, they're just going to continue to say, well, the revenue isn't there. So if you don't bring in the revenue, we can't up your pay. They're going to keep using that.
You know what? It's such a slippery slope with this. It really is. I will say that more can be done as far as advertising and promoting women's basketball. It really can be, because a lot of the times there are people that don't even know the games are on.
Yeah.
It's a horribly. This has nothing to do with the lady athletes or their game being inferior or superior. Nah, that has nothing to do with that. Just the way their game is marketed. The WNBA is horribly marketed. I don't think anybody can. I don't think there should be a disagreement on that.
No.
What do you think? What do you think about what he said?
I feel that should they be making like LeBron money? No, they don't have the sponsorships. Totally understandable, whatever. But my thing is, these women have like second jobs, and then people want to complain about, oh, well, they're not as good as X, Y, and Z. Well, the male athletes can spend their entire day training, doing other things, because they don't have to have a second freaking job on top of being a professional athlete just to get by.
Do you think that if the league did a better job of promoting the WNBA and getting those advertisers, that they will be able to probably pay them more? I mean, I'm just spitballing.
You know, I don't know. And that's the problem. It's like no one has the answers.
Yeah.
But what frustrates me is like when they do try and ESPN does post a highlight of a WNBA game, the comments are automatically so negative, and it's ridiculous.
One thing that I have noticed, and again, when I say this, I'm not trying to generalize all women. I'm just speaking from observing my social media timeline, my friends, the things that I see posted. I do not see any women talking about the game at all, whether it's WNBA or whether it's women's college basketball. Now, I'm not sitting up here and saying that women need to post about the game for them to watch, for them to support it. That's not what I'm saying at all. It's just that with sports fans, you normally see, or just anything in general, you see people talk about what they're watching.
Right.
And I do not see any ladies I know or that I follow. I didn't see them talking about the Baylor UConn game. I saw all men talking about it.
Yeah.
I don't see them talking about the WNBA championship. I see all men talking about it, and I'm just trying to figure out like what can be done to attract more women to the sport, women viewership.
Yeah. I mean, I know for me personally, I've made it a point to follow female athletes, to follow female sports broadcasters, and like follow their teams. But I hadn't even started doing that until I started studying sports media and seeing these disparities. So, I mean, it's like you don't know what you don't know, right?
Exactly.
And how do you get people to realize what's going on if they don't want to listen?
Got any thoughts on that, Scott?
I mean, I'm totally supportive of it all, but I also understand that I'm not the person who should be talking about it.
Got you.
You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes it's just better to, and it's not that I'm not supportive. It's
sometimes just better to sit back and
listen.
Listen.
Yeah, and I mean, I have questions about how it would work, but I also know that if I look at like the women's soccer team, and I think that's really odd. The pay disparity there.
Yeah, especially with the women's soccer.
They win
especially
more.
with the women's soccer team. Now that's one when we gotta, you know what? That's one where that has to have a whole deep dive on that, because they are definitely the breadwinners when it comes to
if
soccer.
I'm willing, just personally, if I'm willing to look at the women's soccer team and ask questions about that, then I really should be allowing myself to ask questions about the WNBA in the same mold, right? Like, I can't. I just don't know that it's logical to say women's soccer players should be paid more, but I don't have an opinion so much about about women basketball players. It's just, you know, as much as I'm supportive of it all, it's really not relevant too much as to what a person like me thinks about it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't want that to be condescending or come off bad. It's just it's like some of the race issues that are in our society now. Do you really give a shit what I think? Seriously. I know this is a deeper conversation, but is it all, I mean, other than me telling you I'm supportive of it all, right?
Yeah. I get what you mean.
Does it matter to you what I think as a white man about your experiences in the world? Probably shouldn't matter all that much, because I don't have any perspective on it.
True. I think on that point, I don't think it's more so about what you think. It's more so about, like, you're not going to understand my shoes or my walk. I just ask you to empathize.
100%.
That's all.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
But you know what? There is something we do got to talk about, and I want to get your opinion on this, and it's about the Bears and their pro day. This is going to get real good. But I got some football talk coming up in just 1 second.
Morning, Art. Morning, D-Mac.
Grow Green, the world's largest family-owned indoor garden center, buys in bulk and passes their savings on to you, the growers. You can score insane deals like bags of Roots original soil for just $10 and gallons of Fox Farm Big Bloom for just $40. Grow Green has over 1,000 pallets of soil in stock from brands like ProMix, Fox Farm, Dairy Dew, and Nectar for the Gods. And because go where the pros actually go to Grow Green, M36 in Whitmore Lake, or online at growgreenmi.com, and mention Woodward Sports for a free t-shirt.
Yo, this is the Woodward Sports Network, and you are watching the Baligian and Bell Show. Kory Woods here with Kennedy and Scott Bischoff, and let's talk about the gift that keeps on giving with the Chicago Bears. So, Bears had several talks with Notre Dame's Ian Book during the pro day. Looking at some of his stats, he had on his 40-yard time, he had a 4.59. 32.5 on the vertical jump, and his broad jump was 115. Three cone on his 3-cone drill, 3.67 seconds. Shuttle, so 20-yard shuttle, 4.1. What do you think about the Bears looking at Ian Cook at QB?
Okay. I mean, it's the Bears. If they want to tether themselves to Ian Book going forward, by all means, go ahead.
Ian Book, I kept saying Cook. My bad. Cook.
It's all Book. He is, He is an incredible athlete. Like, I mean, the numbers you read, those are outrageous, numbers for an athlete. They are, especially a quarterback. But the problem is that, some of this is that, they talked to him a couple times. I guess I don't know totally what that means, but if they're interested in him, it's late, and he is very, very developmental. He is not a player who's even remotely pushing currently.
You know what? I was trying to figure that out. Like,
I haven't heard his name at all in draft talk.
I have not. First off, this is my first time hearing of him. Really, like I've looked at all of these QBs, like that didn't even think would get drafted, or in these earlier rounds, and he's still not a guy that I had in those guys.
And I'm a Notre Dame fan,
so,
and I forgot.
Yeah, he has some flaws where they're almost fatal. Where when there's the least bit of pressure, instead of climbing the pocket or finding space where he can still make throws, he wants to retreat. Like, I don't know if retreat's the right word, but he wants to go. He wants to leave the pocket out the back door, right? And that's fatal at the NFL level, because you're not recovering from that kind of stuff. But then you're also stressing out your tackles to have to vertical set, and it's a lot more difficult to block defenders in space when quarterback is dropping back so far. And then you throw in the idea that he doesn't have the arm strength to make up for that. So every few yards he moves away from the line of scrimmage are more issues he's going to have driving the ball down the field. So if you're wanting to leave the back door, that's very problematic, and that's kind of his go-to thing. He's very athletic. He can generate first downs running. He doesn't have a big arm. He's more accurate in the short to intermediate parts of the game. But if short to intermediate is normally 10 to 15 yards, and you're backing up 5 yards or so to make a throw to buy time, you're really throwing the ball 5-7 yards down the field. I don't know.
Now, question. I have an opinion on this, and I want to get your opinion before I voice mine. Do you think the Bears leaked this information, or do you think it was probably Ian Book's people who released this information?
I don't know. It's a good question. I mean, it's a really good question. I could see Ian Book's people do it. Why would the Bears leak it? I mean, if you're interested in that guy, why would you leak it?
Right, especially because he's been so under wraps through this entire draft process.
I was thinking that Ian Book's people released this information off the simple fact that maybe it could increase his draft
Drum
stock.
up some interest?
Yeah, drum up some interest. And I'm like, hey, who is this guy? Maybe we might be able to get a steal on him, because as we've all just said, he's been kind of flying under the radar.
Very much.
So with him flying under the radar, why would the Bears try to attract attention to him? They would try to go ahead and, steal him, go in there like a thief in the night. So I think this is nothing more than that kind of play. But I also do just kind of hate these kind of stories, especially somebody like me just has several talks. Several talks can mean anything.
Who knows what that means?
Yeah.
Hey, how you doing? How was your day? How was your coffee this morning? And then you've got somebody, a media person, saying, "Oh, that's a Bears scout talking to Ian Book." They talked.
Yeah. Like okay, like what is? I understand the world that we're in, because print media is starting to kind of fade. The new digital media is the way. So these headlines, these clickbait, it's done just to draw up interest and draw up numbers. That's why I hate those kind of stories, because like we said, this could really be this much about nothing. They could just say, yeah, they talked, but not even
isn't
talk
it
about,
incumbent upon them to talk to
and that's what I'm
everybody?
saying. If you're a scout, you're doing your job, shouldn't you be having multiple conversations with multiple people?
You should. So then there's the question: who was it from the Bears who talked to him? Was it like decision maker type guy, coach?
From what I'm reading, it just said a member of the Chicago Bears coaching staff and a personnel executive attended Notre Dame's pro day yesterday.
But I mean, there are other players at the Notre Dame pro day that would have been worthy for a team drafting at 20, to like Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah.
Yeah.
Right in the wheelhouse, right there.
And that's a guy who I believe that in that athletic report we talked about a couple of days ago, that's who they had the Lions picking in 19 if they went ahead and did that draft.
Yeah,
did
that's
that trade
right
with
about
Washington.
right in the range. So,
it's like you know what, he could have just been there, like, hey, what's going on, blah 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 blah, shooting the shit. Just
yeah.
What I don't know. I hate those, but do you think since we're talking about him, last QB that came out of Notre Dame, DeShon Kizer, Kennedy's guy.
Yeah.
Tell us, what do you know about DeShon Kizer?
I mean, I went to high school with him, so I know quite a bit about him.
Oh, boy.
But in football, I mean, he lost the state championship for us in high school, so that still stings. But
how did he lose the state? What happened? Did he throw a pick or something?
Yeah, I can't remember now, but it was people were not happy with because we should have won. But yeah, so this was my question. So DeShon left Notre Dame early because the QB class that he would have been in if he would have stayed under Brian Kelly for another year was going to be stronger than the one that he left in, so his junior year. So how important developmentally is it to stay for the full time or until you're ready? Because Brian Kelly told him, if you leave and go to the NFL now, it's not going to be good for you.
Yeah.
And he was right. It wasn't. He wasn't ready to be the Browns QB1, and then he had the worst season of all time.
I mean, this dude is 25 and he's already on his 4th team.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
it's not good.
I have heard from, so there's just like maturity stuff with him. I don't,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know that he was ever all that highly coveted a prospect anyway. But, I mean, if you're done in college and you don't, you're just either unhappy there or needing to do other things, going to the NFL is a fine way to go about things. You can always go back to school.
Right.
But I don't know that it's wise to tie DeShon Kizer to Ian Book.
Okay.
Just like I don't know if it's wise to tie Dwayne Haskins to Justin Fields or Cardale Jones to Justin Fields. I don't think it's even remotely worth having that conversation.
I definitely wouldn't tie Justin Fields and Cardale Jones in the same conversation because just looking off of how Fields is carrying himself on and off the field, they're in two different wavelengths or whatever. But I'm gonna go into like your biggest letdowns because DeShon Kizer, letdown. Ian Book, if we're too early to say.
Yeah.
But was there a college athlete who was a huge letdown for you once they got to the NFL? I'll start this one off. For me, it was a guy that is from Michigan. I saw him in high school. He beat my cousin. His high school beat my cousin in the state championship. And he went on to Michigan State, played well, and was drafted by the Lions. I'm talking about Charles Rogers. I saw him in, I can't remember what year it was, but it was because it was my cousin's junior year in high school. He played for Brother Rice, and Charles Rogers played for Saginaw. And Brother Rice, I was on the Brother Rice side. It was all reserved and just, whatever. And then over there on Saginaw, they was over there turned and crunk and hype, and they all in the all black and whatnot. And then this guy is just out there just kicking their ass. He's just like scary fast. And I'm like, who was that? And they're like, oh, that's Charles Rogers. And I'm like, oh, okay. And he single-handedly destroyed Brother Rice, to say the least. And he went on to college. I think we all know what he was in college. So when I saw him in college, in high school, then I seen him in college, and I'm like, the Lions got him? Oh, it's about to be on, because he checked all of the boxes of being a generational talent, and he just couldn't stay healthy.
The collarbone, yeah.
The collarbone
just crushed him.
Just crushed him, and unfortunately, he's no longer here with us. Just everything kind of after he couldn't stay healthy, everything just kind of went downhill from him right there. But that was one guy who really disappointed me, and I want to get your thoughts on two NFL players that disappointed you guys once they made it to the college players once they made it to the NFL. We're going to get into that in one moment.
Welcome to Crumble Cookies. It is Joey from Woodward Sports, and this is my new favorite spot where I like to spend my time because they have the best cookies I've ever had in my entire life, and you won't regret coming here and trying them. Located off of Rochester Road, right next to the Imagine Theaters in Rochester Hills, it's Crumble Cookies. Come try these delicious cookies. They even got their own app. They got curbside pickup. They got delivery. You won't regret it. Just come try for yourself. You'll thank me later. I promise.
All right, you can start a new career in an industry that is always essential, the heating and cooling industry. You can get more information. Learn more today by visiting northwesterntech.edu.
What's going on, guys? This is the Woodward Sports Network, and you're watching the Baligian and Bell Show. Kory Woods here with Kennedy and Scott Bischoff. Some breaking news. The MLB has postponed the New York Mets and the Washington National Series for follow-up testing and contact tracing. Woo, it's already starting early.
Yeah. Kind of goes to the conversation we had a couple days ago about Goodell and his expectations. Like, we're not quite there to be talking like that just yet.
I just don't understand the rush. Look,
aquarium.
I know that. Oh, hold on. Again, I'm not the most important person in the room when his hand is raised.
No.
Fish.
He raised his hand. He must be heard.
Go ahead,
Kory, you're the most important person here. Hey, Scott, I want to get your thoughts about Canada because they're having some problems in the National Hockey League now. Do you have any?
Yep.
It
was alarming when some of the Canadian teams started to spike tests. It was like, okay, it's alarming.
And now it's
for hockey.
Now it's in the Canucks.
Yeah.
Man, this is just. I hope this is not a trend, but there is an uptick going. We gotta, and I just urge everybody out here, whichever way you choose to go, vaccine, non-vaccine, just do the best that you can to protect yourself out here, because this is real. A few of my friends this morning, they in the nightlife scene, like I said, I used to be a photographer, so I didn't have a relationship with this guy, but a promoter in the nightlife scene passed away that everybody knew due to COVID-19. So this is real.
So, and not only taking care of yourself, but let's take care of each other and everybody else too.
Like me, I have not seen my grandmother in a year. I just refuse to go over there because I don't want anybody, because I'm out too much.
Yeah.
And it does affect the elderly at a different rate. So I'm seeing her through a glass. I'm not trying to mess around with that. So just take care of yourself out here. But man, this is fun. Yesterday, I got to pull off a great April Fool's joke. We're going to get into that one second. But about you guys, we talked about my moment. What about you?
My college athletes that disappointed me? Are we going back to that?
Yeah.
Okay, well.
Sorry about that.
We're
talking about the college athletes.
On the field, ma'am.
On the field, that disappointed you.
On the field. Sorry, my brain. Okay, Tim Tebow, I loved him as a Gator. I mean, I was the biggest Tim Tebow fan.
The greatest college quarterback of all time, which is actually weird to say.
Still stand by that. And it is so bizarre to me that he flopped so hard in the NFL. Like, I'm still not over it, honestly. I talk about it all the time to this day. But I remember I was in 7th grade. I was at a volleyball tournament. The tournament ended, and I remember, like, getting in the car with my dad, and we were, like, speeding to the hotel to see the end of the national college game. Like, he was, like, my everything. And
he was an incredible college player.
He comes to the NFL and just flops.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's a different game.
Tebow's game was great for college because of how the systems are ran, but to the NFL, he didn't have enough. Granted, he did get that one playoff win. Gotta tip your cap to him. But outside of that, I just knew that he was not going to be able to adjust to the NFL game because there was nothing that I saw him do exceptional.
He ran the ball pretty well.
That's about it.
Right? I mean, the issue with him was how long it took for him to trigger in his brain, receivers open, now I want to throw, and it just took such a long time. And those windows close in the NFL where some of that stuff's open at the college level, but it's undeniable what he was as a college player. I mean,
yeah.
For me, it's job at best. And I mean, it's one of them is, and it has nothing to do with him personally. It's injuries, right? But he was so unbelievably explosive as a runner. And the injuries it's just like what could have been. I mean, with Calvin, and I remember the Monday night game against Chicago where he had that long run and Calvin had the long catch, and it's just like it
always talks about that run. Said it was the loudest he ever heard.
It was incredible. Like he was shot out of a cannon. Nobody touched him. He ran for 80 yards, and it's just like the injuries. It just sucks. You know, to lose a career like that.
What you got, Art?
Is there anybody in this question, kind of for Scott? Is there any quarterbacks that are first-round draft picks that you could see following the same route as Tebow, like to where they're so great in college and then they reach that NFL level and just kind of flop? I mean, I don't want you to speak negatively about first-round draft picks by any means.
Well,
but
I can generalize about it that almost all of the first-round draft picks in recent years have flopped.
Yeah.
As quarterbacks. I mean, it's just like a generalized thing, and it's why we've talked, Sean and I, on the draft show about having to address the quarterback position more than just one time to get it right. I mean, you can't just say, we have Jared Goff and we're good. Okay, if you take Trey Lance this year, you might be taking another quarterback in 2 years. Yeah. There are no guarantees with these guys as prospects. There just aren't. That's why the Deshaun Watson thing is so intriguing, because setting aside all the other stuff with him, but you know what he is as a player.
Yeah.
Why would you? I mean, if you knew that, there's been talk that he wants to play at home in Atlanta, and Atlanta restructured Matt Ryan. But if you're Atlanta, and you know that you have to kind of swallow it for 2 years, but then for 10+ years you have Deshaun Watson as your quarterback, wouldn't you do that? You know what Deshaun Watson is. We don't know what some of these quarterbacks are. I mean, everybody talks about Trevor Lawrence at this point like he's a better prospect than Andrew Luck was. Andrew Luck was great, but he didn't play a real long time, right? I mean, you look at Mitch Trubisky, who went ahead of Deshaun Watson and went ahead of Patrick Mahomes, and it's like that's a curious decision now in hindsight. But yeah, I mean, there are no guarantees with any of these guys, but it's tough to compare what Tebow was as a player, because it was obvious that he was going to struggle to throw passes at the NFL level. And it was also obvious that the NFL wasn't ready to accept a running quarterback. So that it was like a butting of the heads of Tebow wasn't really interested in redoing his release.
Right.
One of the things he told everybody up front was, yeah, I'm not doing that.
And you know what? As a result, he is where he's at.
He is, but if it was a smart...
The minor leagues.
If there was a smart, offensive scheme that would have utilized him, maybe they could have made him work.
How much of it is nerves? How much of it is NFL pressure versus college pressure? I mean, obviously the players are going to be professionals, and I understand that, but how much of it is, man, I made my debut in the NFL, and that's a lot to handle?
It's a lot to handle, but, I mean, he was in a pressure cooker at college constantly, right? I mean, he was. I think in that scenario, it's more a refusal from NFL teams to recognize what he was as a player and make it work with him schematically. At that point in time, I think he would fit a little better today, but it's still you're not going to get a lot of accuracy with him throwing the ball. You need to facilitate him running a lot, and NFL teams just don't want to do that with quarterbacks. It's something they're just very resistant to doing.
Yeah. Is there any other ones? Because I was over here trying to rack my brain.
I think I have one more.
You got one more?
And I'll be interested to see if you guys think he's a flop or not. But for me, being from Ohio, I loved Ezekiel Elliott, and I just don't think he is what he was in college in the NFL.
I don't know if Zeke is a flop yet. I just don't. I don't want to call Zeke a flop.
He's not a flop.
He's not a flop. I think the Cowboys are a flop.
The Cowboys have struggled to stay healthy for a couple of years, and he's he suffered from that. But I don't he went early in the draft, but he's
I mean the Lions could have Zeke right now.
Send him over.
I'd love Zeke.
Nah.
I'll
rock the crop top.
I would love Zeke and Swift. That would be
the crop top.
I love his crop top.
I think I'm gonna rock that next show. I'm gonna wear a halter.
Please, God,
It's a
no.
joke. No, I'm kidding. Nobody wants
This is a guy who I don't want to call him a flop because it's only his first year, but one guy that I felt if he would have stayed, you know what? Take that back. I felt that this guy got played in college by Harbaugh. Harbaugh really limited this particular person from reaching the heights I felt he could. And I'm going to say it's DPJ, Donovan Peoples-Jones. I won't call him a flop, but I felt that with his makeup, his skill set, he could have been so much more had Harbaugh figured out that quarterback situation. It was a lot. It was a lot left out there.
That's the story of Michigan right now.
Yeah.
I mean, think about all their running backs and all their receiving weapons, and Nico Collins this year, right? I mean, it's just you can't figure out the quarterback position, and it's such a. It seems like it's just wasting year after year after year chasing that position.
I'm just understanding, like, how did they not figure it out with Donovan Peoples-Jones, Tariq Black, and Ronnie Bell out there? I don't understand how you have the quarterback situation figured out with that trio. That is deadly. And the running back game was respectable. Because they had
Zach Charbonnet.
And Karan, and at the time Karan Hickman was
he
was lighting it up.
Yep.
If they would have
Good
figured
offensive lineman.
that team, to me, they underachieved because I really do feel that wide receiver trio should have been talked about as the best in the nation. They had the best potential.
But without a quarterback, without any stability there, right, or production coming from there, everything else is just
everything else is just a trickle down. And Tariq Black transferred to Texas. He didn't really do too much. I mean, DPJ did get picked up by the Browns, and he had a respectable. He
scored some touchdowns. He's a vertical receiver.
Yeah, he had some moments, but I just felt that he could have come into the NFL more polished. Yeah. Had he not, I'm just gonna say it. Harbaugh kind of set those receivers up for failure.
Yeah, it makes you wonder. It's like, we see the offense and then going to the defensive side of the ball and it's like, they have talent. They really do.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
I have no idea. Hopefully Harbaugh figures it out. I believe they have a press conference going on today with a few players. I'll check into that in just a moment. So, yeah, this right now, like I said, it's too early to call him a flop, but I just felt that DPJ, if he would have been able to get the coaching that he needed to in college, he would have been able to. First year in the league, I felt he would have had a Justin Jefferson type year.
He's very talented. It's just, how much did he grow as a player from entering college to when he left college?
Yeah.
And that's an unanswerable question. He will have opportunities in Cleveland. We'll see if he can take them.
Let's see if he can take them. But, since we're on the subject of wide receivers, got to talk about something I did yesterday on the morning Woodward show. Joey was going through his Joey's News and kind of gave them a nice April Fool's joke, and I want to get into that in one moment. This is the Woodward Sports Network. You're watching the Baligian and Bell Show right here with Kory, Kennedy, and Scott Bischoff. So yesterday, it wasn't just opening day. It just wasn't D-Mac's birthday. Who's in there in the other room? What up, though, D-Mac?
Not paying attention to
Not
us.
paying attention to us at all.
Do you blame him?
No.
But it was also April Fool's Day. And yesterday on the morning Woodward show with Stick and Joey, catches every Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. We were going through Joey's news. And I just, being my mischief self, being petty, I was like, it is April Fool's. They're so, and
now is the time.
Now is the time because they were just so focused on pulling off everything at the brass rail without a hitch, which I gotta say, it was fun again.
Mm-hmm.
But I this is my shot. And I just picked up my phone and I just sold it with the facial expressions, the just scrolling, then to act like I was searching, and then I went ahead and sold it to hey, I got breaking news, and then I said that the Detroit Lions had signed Antonio Brown. Now, I didn't see Joey's face initially, but Stick was just like frozen. Like, it was like I don't want to say it was like grief, but it was just like genuine shock.
Despair?
Like
despair.
Like, we signed AB? Because, for one, I did set it up because I break a lot of news around here, or read a lot of highlights, and some stuff I do get from a source for real. So I don't normally play jokes, so it was the perfect setup. So I want to ask you guys. Hold on, go ahead. Art.
Yeah, I'm guessing this was Joey and Stick's face after they had found out. They had got.
Yeah, that was more so like Joey's face. Sticks was like real horror and grief at the same time. Hopefully we can go back and go find that. But what do you guys think about April Fool's Day? Should we just, right now we're in this whole cancel culture. Everything is getting canceled. Should April Fool's Day be canceled? Go on, hold on.
I would like to say something. I had probably the most vicious April Fool's Day prank played on me ever. My cousin knew where I lived. I was driving a Dodge Shadow. This was like a 1990s car. And he decided to put a dead skunk under the hood of my car.
Oh, man.
Canceled.
I did not find out for 3 days. I drove around, and he put the dead skunk on top. He found it on the side of the road. He put it on my car. It took me 3 days. I lifted, after checking my heater vents and everything, I couldn't figure out what was going on. I lifted the hood, and there was a dead skunk. So I forever hate April Fool's Day. It should absolutely be canceled.
Yeah, that's not a funny one.
No,
it was not.
Ruthless.
That's really committing to
it. Oh, yeah.
Think about that.
Yeah.
That's like psychological.
Art,
yeah.
I'm going to let you know right now. See, if my cousin did that to me, we would have had to shoot the fair one.
Yeah,
we're not related anymore.
The worst thing was that I didn't have the manpower and the ability to get it off of my car, so I made my girlfriend do it at the time. Yeah.
Art!
That's crazy.
I was like, I'm not touching that thing. That's disgusting. Now I would have done it. Looking back, I could see why the relationship failed. But, yeah.
Yeah. I would have been pretty mad at you.
Come on, Art.
That's wild.
Come on, Art.
Come on, Art.
I'm sorry.
You.
But what about you guys? I mean, Kennedy, Scott, any April Fool's Day pranks that you've done or that you've got on?
I remember trying to play them quite often when I was younger because I have a twin brother. So I remember like saran wrapping the toilet, doing stupid things to his room, like just like stupid harmless like kid stuff. But I haven't even partaken or have been a victim of April Fools in so long that I kind of just forget about it every year. I mean, I see normally like a few funny tweets here and there of people like cracking jokes, whatever. But today, my friend Mason texts me and is like, I'm freaking out. There is a cockroach in my house. It was in the light fixture, one of the ones that you'd have to like lift up and move and then put something in. Someone put a fake cockroach, like yay big, in it. And so she's freaking out. She's like, my roommate just FaceTimed me. She had a screenshot of the FaceTime, like, look at this cockroach. And I was like, I didn't even know they came that big. I was like, you need to call an exterminator. This is disgusting. And she texts us like 5 minutes later. She's like, oh my gosh, it was a prank. But it came a day late for her. So I really believed it. And we were all freaking out that cockroaches this big exist in Ohio.
Don't.
Spiders with me and my kids. They do it. And it's just like, really? I mean, seriously. Like, if you want to see me act like a 4-year-old, show me a spider. It's just like, it's one of those things, and they know it and they love it. They think it's hilarious.
Will they catch them and like throw them at you?
No, not real ones. Just they'll put like a plastic one on the pillow, and I wake up and it's like,
hey, Scott, I gotta tell you, I'm with you. Anything in the world, I'm like, all right, whatever. It don't matter. I'm like, all right, whatever. Spider, I'll just be like, all right, who gonna win, you or me? Because if I see one spot, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go this direction. If I see two, all right, you know what, y'all can just have the house for today. I'm about to just be on and be on out.
See, no. That is not how it goes. That is a bad idea.
I'm always scared they're pregnant.
No, you need to go to battle.
Like go to war.
Go to war.
You can't let them. This is horrible, but you can't let them live, especially if there's more than one. How do you when you come home? Where are they? You know they're plotting to kill you.
All I know is when I got one, I went ahead and I immediately went to Home Depot and I went and got that big ass Orkin jug with the spray. And
did you find it?
No, I don't know if I found it or not. All I know was that.
So now it's still alive in your house.
It could be, but I sprayed, covered all my clothes and everything, and I sprayed the entire house.
Good.
So yeah, but you know what, my guy Kenny is in here, and I got Kenny Burke. He's in the chat. I gotta give him some breaking news. That is, I don't know if he peeped it yet. All the wrestling fans out there, I know Art's gonna hate this. That I'm talking wrestling news, but if you watch wrestling, Chris Jericho from AEW is going to appear on Stone Cold's Broken Skull Sessions on April 11th, apparently on Peacock.
That's on my birthday.
So
that's a great birthday present.
I am just over here confused by that because AEW and WWE are going at it. And for those who don't know, AEW is owned by Tony Khan, and Tony Khan's father is Syd Khan, who owns the Jacksonville Jaguars, and he also owns the Flexing Gate plant in Detroit, if people don't know about that, where they make the Ford parts and stuff like that. So I just thought that was just some pretty interesting news that a wrestler from a rival promotion is going to be on his former job's show. Thought that was pretty interesting. So I just wanted to drop that out there for Kenny Burke if he didn't notice that. He's been trying to urge me to do a WrestleMania edition on here on Everything Is, just like Art does with the MMA podcast. So yeah, did you ever hand up Fish? Oh, never mind. I thought I saw a Fish have his hand up in my peripheral.
A fish hand.
Oh yeah, that is a fish hand. That'd be pretty interesting. So yeah, so with the back on April Fool's, did you guys see any pranks yesterday besides mine?
Nope.
I saw one on Facebook of my stepmom's sister playing a prank on her kids. Mm-hmm. So they like the cake pops from Starbucks, and she was like, "Guys, I tried to recreate the cake pops from Starbucks. Come try them." And in one of them, she had a Brussels sprout, and she had just like coated it in chocolate. And the other one, she had a habanero pepper. And it's just a video of the kids biting into it and like freaking out. Well, there were two kids in the video, Adeline and Aiden. And Adeline is the chillest kid of all time. Does not care about a single thing in the entire world. She's just chilling, eating her chocolate-covered Brussels sprout. Aiden is freaking out, throwing a fit. Mom, that's so disgusting. She's like, try the other one. The other one's the spicy pepper. He takes one bite and is like, ah, and like runs away and is being so dramatic. And then there's just Adeline in the corner, just still eating, just chilling, does not care.
Brussels sprouts and chocolate, huh? I don't think that's a horrible combination.
I think it's actually a thing. I think I've seen it at a restaurant before, actually, where they do a Brussels sprout wrapped in bacon and then in chocolate.
Oh, I mean, wrapped in bacon just changes everything.
Right.
It's good.
Yeah. But I you know what? You guys just jogged my memory. There is one prank that I played on a friend. I did it a couple of years ago, and I'm going to share it in just one moment.
I'm looking to bring on another HVAC tech right now.
We are recruiting 5 to 10 techs a month.
We're looking to grow and expand. Every new tech we hire is from Northwestern Tech.
The hands-on training is fantastic.
They're always my first call.
We love hiring Northwestern Tech grads.
They come out trained and ready to work.
Our program is only 10.5 months, and our next classes are starting soon. So why wait?
I'm looking to hire
a graduate of Northwestern Tech. Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Hey guys, we are in the home stretch of commandeering this Baligian and Bell show all week. Sean Baligian, I kind of locked him away. You know, he had a little bit too much fun yesterday, so I just said, you know what, all right, I'll step in, Kenny will step in, Scott will step in for you guys, and it's been a fun show so far. But I was talking about some April Fool's jokes that I played on my friend, and one of my friends is a Spartan alumni, Michigan State. And he teases me about being a Walmart Wolverine, and I'm like, okay, I didn't go to Michigan. I went to school down the road from them, but I decided to give him hell. So I have his email, and what I did was I signed him up on every type of Michigan alumni, fan newsletter site that I could think of.
The dedication.
And I even signed him up, and he hates Tom Brady. Signed him up with all the Tom Brady fan site, the TB12 stuff. Wow. He was on
That's awesome.
Facebook cussing up a storm like, who the F, which one of you mother, blah, 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 did this? And I'm just like, he'll eventually figure out it was me. And then, so the whole day, nothing. I say about 10:30 at night, in all caps, you bastard. And I'm like, yeah, it took you long enough.
Yeah.
Who all did you go through?
That's
so
a good one, though. I mean, that's,
I just replied with the Mr. Burns from The Simpsons, the excellent.
And it's such a pain, too. You know, I get so many spam emails, and they are the absolute worst. And then you have to go through them all and scroll all the way to the bottom and click unsubscribe. That probably took him forever.
Oh, I mean,
I'm sure he's still dealing with it.
I think I signed him up for about maybe 15 sites.
Oh.
Wow.
I mean, I'm not funny. I always tell everybody this. I'm not a ha-ha punchline kind of guy. I'm petty. So with me being petty, I just happen to make people laugh, and I'm like, if I'm petty, then that means you guys are petty too. Because you're laughing at me being petty. But I'm looking at this list that just came out about worst NBA MVPs. Some I guess it's the Sixers Wire, one of their fan sites. They have the worst NBA MVPs ever, and man, I know this is off subject. Guess what they had as the worst NBA MVP ever?
Who? I'm scared.
Yeah.
Allen Iverson.
Oh my gosh. And that comes from a Sixers?
I don't think they did it. I think that they were their website was reporting like some list had him as one of the worst NBA MVPs ever. So what I wanted to get on is, out of watching sports, any of the 4 sports that you watch, who did you think won an MVP that arguably should have went to somebody else?
Oh man.
While you're thinking, I have one person off the top of my head. His name, actually, and he's the coach of the Brooklyn Nets, Steve Nash. Steve Nash should not be a back-to-back NBA MVP. One of those belonged to Kobe, and the other one belonged to Shaq. The fact that Steve Nash is a back-to-back NBA MVP definitely does not deserve it. I think that it was a crime that he has even one.
Interesting.
I mean, the names that you mentioned, he's not even remotely in the discussion with those guys.
Right. Yeah, I totally agree with you.
At all.
So, you know, Scott, you cover a lot of football. Is there anybody that won maybe an NFL League MVP thing like, I get it, but it really should have went to this guy?
Not really. I don't pay all that much attention to that kind of stuff. I mean, I think that, you know, if you're in the discussion to be an MVP, then it's okay if you become MVP. Like, and then there's a matter of what does it mean to be most valuable player, right? Like, what does that even mean?
Right.
And I think that's an individual thing. I mean, you know, Aaron Rodgers won it this year, right?
Yeah.
Did he totally deserve it?
Probably.
Probably.
Yeah.
I mean, he put them deep into the playoffs, but you know, other players had great years too. So it's, you know, I don't fret about that kind of stuff. So I wouldn't, to be honest with you, I wouldn't have a name that made me upset. Other than, I'm sure if Sidney Crosby won an MVP at some point, I'd bitch about it.
I think if Sidney Crosby won anything in life, people in Detroit would bitch about it.
Yeah. But if he played here, rock star.
You know what? You know what? I've learned from some people. The disdain for Sidney Crosby is so strong. They said they would not even want him in a Red Wings uniform.
They're lying to you.
I thought they were lying
They
to
are.
me, but
They
I
are.
heard some people were just like, no, if he were a Red Wing, I'd throw up and I'd burn
No.
my la-la-la.
The same things were said about Chris Chelios, and he came here and he became
Everyone loved him.
legend in the city.
Yeah, opened up a couple of businesses that everybody frequented too.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he played more games in Detroit than he played anywhere else.
Wow.
He played in Montreal. He played in Chicago. People in Detroit hated him because of the shenanigans he pulled when he was a Blackhawk. They hated him. But
Did that end the day that he was signed? Or
I
was
think
it
for
a
most people it did, but I'm sure there were people that he had to convert. And then it ended shortly thereafter when the same stuff they hated that he did in the Blackhawks uniform, he would do in a Red Wings uniform, and they loved it.
You know who that reminds me of a guy that people hated his antics, but once he came here, they loved him. Now, this guy did not necessarily showcase those antics against Detroit per se, but Rasheed Wallace.
Yeah.
Rasheed Wallace was known as a hothead, get technicals, was known to be this piece
He's
of
one of
work.
the more entertaining basketball players ever.
Rasheed Wallace was a piece of work, but once he got to Detroit and he embraced that Detroit culture, people loved him.
Yeah.
Like everything that you heard about him went totally out the window. It was just, she.
I still giggle at the ball don't lie stuff.
Ball don't lie.
It cracks
Ball
me
don't
up
lie.
thinking about him talk about being petty, right? Like him at the free throw line yelling, ball don't lie as a guy misses a free throw. Like, it's just perfect.
I love it. But the thing about it is, to this day, that still carries over. Because it's a
And you hear it all the time.
It's a playground thing. He didn't invent it, but what he did was he brought that to the forefront.
Yeah.
Because we've been saying that since a kid before we even knew Rasheed was ball don't lie, but he brought it to the forefront. And
it was also the flair.
The flair,
and
like-
and the tone. And you know how pissed he was when he would say it. It just makes me laugh thinking about it. I don't know why. It just does.
Oh,
but I
Kenny
laughed
said-
watching it.
Oh, good.
You know what? Speaking of she, since we're talking about him, let's get into this because we're almost at the home stretch.
Shannon, I already know what you're
I mean,
saying.
I know what you're getting at. Just like for me, it's just really even hard to formulate the words. I didn't get tongue tied this time. I'm just like, I can't believe the blasphemy I'm about to spew out. But Shannon Sharp of FS1, Undisputed. Scott, how much you follow? You follow basketball? I'm pretty sure you follow basketball.
Yeah.
He said,
I heard what he said.
We
that
all saw
Andre
it.
Drummond was better than freaking Rasheed Wallace. You got the clip, Art?
A buyout acquisition of Andre Drummond as if it is, as you keep saying, the missing piece to the repeat championship puzzle.
I'll give you a prime example. You remember the buyout? Rasheed Wallace got bought out, and he went to Detroit. Did he change the life of the Pistons?
He was a very good player. Okay? So are you saying Andre Drummond is better than Rasheed Wallace?
Yeah!
Oh, stop it.
Yeah!
Rasheed Wallace.
That when I heard that, first off, no. Andre Drummond is not better than Rasheed Wallace. Is he a better rebounder than Rasheed Wallace? Yeah, absolutely yes. Rasheed Wallace has everything else though.
Yeah.
So first off, when I heard that, I thought that was blasphemy. But the one thing that really gets me mad, and it's like, okay, dude, you guys do show prep just like we do show prep. And I'm not trying to say their show prep is better or worse, but they do a prep. How in the hell do you get the details of the trade wrong? Because that's what it was. Rasheed Wallace was not bought out. Rasheed Wallace had a checkered past with Portland, and Portland wanted to get rid of him. So they traded him. He was going to come to Detroit regardless, but they traded him to Atlanta. He played one game with the Hawks. Then the Hawks traded him to the Pistons. He wasn't bought out. Rasheed Wallace was traded during the prime of his career. He was still, he sacrificed his game when he came here to be in a team concept. And we, like I said, I think Joe Dumars said it during their championship video, we didn't even know how good defensively Rasheed Wallace was until he got here.
Yep.
So the fact that Shannon can't even get the details of the trade right, and then you go ahead and spew off that nonsense, that to me was just as they like to say, blasphemous. And what do you guys?
Do you think he really believes that?
I think that he likes LeBron James so much that he's willing to say anything at this point to make LeBron's and the Lakers look good. That's really what I think it was.
Yeah, that's fair.
You ain't think it?
When I saw that, I was like, my jaw was on the floor. I was like, this can't be real. Like, he can't actually think that.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, rebounding is the only thing that he has on him.
Hey, guys, that's it for all of us here at the Baligian and Bell Show. Thanks again, Kennedy. Thanks, Scott, for letting me be up here with you guys. Hey, the weekend is up. It's Easter weekend. Make sure you guys take care of yourselves out here, mask up, and have a great afternoon. Check y'all later.